I'll do Kermit as a door-to-door salami sandwich and banana salesman. Find it. I work with a company called Salami Sandwich and Banana Slingers. Yeah, we were just at your neighbor over there down the street. You know, Harold. Yeah, we were just making sure salami sandwiches were squared away, and I noticed last night when I was inside your kitchen that you guys didn't have any salami sandwiches or bananas in your. I don't even know if I sound like Kermit right now. I noticed when you guys were sleeping, I was in your kitchen last night, and I noticed that you guys didn't have any salami sandwiches in the fridge, and all your bananas were brown. So yeah. Welcome back to the No One's Watching podcast. If you're watching this, you shouldn't be. If you watched the last one, you shouldn't have. And my name's Mike. If you don't know who I am, good. Gonna hop right back into marathon prep. It seems to be the trend here on what we're starting these with. Yes, I mean, so far, I guess since the last pod, the only update I really have is is about week 4 of my marathon training out of 26, and I'm kind of in a drawback week, so my mileage is slightly lower than normal, which is cool. Kind of like it. A little easier on the legs, but my the work shift that I've been working is a morning shift, so I'm getting to work at like 6:30 in the morning, and I'm getting out around about 2 o'clock, so I'm not really running until about 2:33 o'clock, and it's been hot as hell. You know, it's been super hot. It's been like 90 plus every day that I've ran this week, so that's not fun. You know, try keeping your heart rate in zone 2 while it's 95 out. It's borderline impossible unless you're moving like a snail, basically walking. Yeah, I had a 5K on Monday, I believe, or Tuesday. Yeah, a 5K on Tuesday, light pace, like a conversational pace. Went pretty okay. Did it real slow. About everything's been about like 12.5 minute miles this week. Even my Thursday tempo day was also in 90. I think it was 93 out yesterday, Thursday, when I ran my tempo day. That was treacherous, and I had to keep like a 6:10 kilometer pace, and then go to a 6:55 kilometer pace, and then back to a 6:10, back to a 6:55, and I did that 3 times, and kind of a loop like that. Started with like a 1.2K conversational pace, finished with what was supposed to be a 1K conversational pace, but I ended up walking probably half that because I was dying, and my heart rate was like a steady 175 for like at least 10 minutes straight, which is cool, you know. I'm trying to get that VO2 max up. You know, my VO2 max is pretty piss poor. I'm in the bottom, I'd say 30% for my age bracket, so I'm trying to get that up. That's like one of the main goals. I don't really know the benefits of VO2 max, but if you don't know what a VO2 max is basically how much oxygen. I'm a caveman, so I don't know if I'm going to explain this correctly, but it's basically how much oxygen your body can utilize when it's in your system, which allows you to run like an absolute horse out there, and just you don't stop. The higher the VO2 max, the longer you can push a higher heart rate. And I think that's pretty much the gist. But like I said, caveman, don't really know what I'm talking about, and I'm new to running, and new to whatever a VO2 max is. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to say I'm VO2 maxing. Even doing breath exercises in the car on the way to work because I have an hour to kill. You know, I'm doing box breathing just to try to get it up a little bit because it is really low, and I'd like to get it somewhere. Right now I'm at like a 39 VO2 max, which I believe is awful, especially for my age range. Like I know a guy at work who's in his 40s or 50s, and his is he runs often, but he's somewhere around a 50 VO2 max. And yeah, I mean, VO2 max is like tied to like longevity and stuff too. So I mean, the higher your VO2 max, the longer you live. So I mean, want to see past 65. Want to see the far side of 65. So got to get that VO2 max up and keep it up. But yeah, when it comes to marathon prep, I also had to run today, another 4K, conversational pace, no tempo day. It was still treacherous. It was still awful. And I think it was like a 12:30 pace for my 4K. So it was about like 2.5 miles, nothing too crazy. 2 laps around the loop that I normally run. But yeah, you know, I'm kind of liking this slowdown. I got one more run this week. It's my long run. It's about a 7K, and that'll be nice. And then back to the 6 kilometer slow days, and it's just mileage is gonna keep going up from there. So I'm sorry, I got like a fly or something, like a little fruit fly flying around here. But yeah, I mean, so I'm just be grateful. I mean, even though it was 95 degrees and I'm just drenched in sweat by the time I'm finished, I'm just happy that I'm not dying. If this were me 6 months ago, I wouldn't be able to walk outside for too long in 90 degrees. So I've just been pounding electrolytes. I take about 1 stick of electrolytes between two water bottles, like two of these bad boys, and I eat my normal Uncrustable before I run, about 30-45 minutes before, and it's been working. So I mean, I'm not complaining, surviving, and that's awesome. I couldn't be happier with that. Now, am I happy that I had to run when it's 90 degrees out? No, of course not. I mean, but it's just the way the schedule works. Work in the morning, run, pick up the babies from daycare, and then stand in my day, pretty much. Like that's what I do until the end of the day. So yeah, but I did have an interaction. I've had a couple interactions while running since I've started, and just two come to mind. I had one today, and I'm running up on the loop that I run. It's about a 1.2 mile loop, and at the back end of the loop there's a hill, and it's pretty treacherous. My wife said she didn't even notice it, but I think she's a liar. She's trying to gaslight me. But yeah, it's a pretty steep, long, droning hill. If you run up it fast, it's over with quick, but you can't really run up it fast to keep your heart rate down, so you kind of have to go a little slower just to keep the heart rate in a respectable range. But yeah, I would say it's about, from the bottom to the top, it's around a fifth of a mile, so about 0.2 miles from the bottom to the top, and it's relatively steep in some areas. And I'm going around it. I'm going around the loop. I go around it one time, and then come back around. I'm going up the hill the second time now, and there's this guy. He's probably in his 70s, and he's carrying like 2 10-pound weights, and he's just chugging along up this hill, and he has he has sunglasses on, he's got a straw hat, and he's vibing out there, right? And he's on the phone, like his earbuds in, he's on the phone. And as I'm running past him, he's like, look, he's like, honey, I just got passed by another jogger. He's like, this one doesn't look like he's gonna make it. I was dying. It was, like I said, 95 degrees, and I love that stuff, I love when people make jokes in passing and stuff like that. Like there's nothing like a 70-year-old extrovert. Like that's hilarious. So I'm running up the hill, and he says that, and I just turn around, and I acknowledge, right, and I wave and smile. He's like, oh, he just laughed at me, and then I just kept running, right? So that was pretty cool. And then and previously, I would say probably about like 2 months ago now, I was running one time, and I'm running, and I see in front of me, I see this figure, and it's like probably like a heavyset person, and but they're in like strange attire, like they have, it's kind of like it looks like a robe, and maybe like a hijab or something. And I'm running from behind, so I can't really tell what they look like in the front. Right. So I'm running slow, and she's just walking. And so it took me forever to like get in front of this person or get close to this person. But I noticed her from a distance, and I'm running. And I'm like hip to hip kind of as I'm running by. I run by, and I hear, I run with one headphone in, just not by choice, because I lost the other one and I don't know where it is. And it's like some knockoff AirPods, but I'm running, and on my earbuds in my left ear, so on my right ear, I hear like shuffling, and it sounded like somebody fell, right? So I turn and I look, and I just see a nun on the floor or on the ground, and I was like, oh my God, right? So I turn, I'm like, hey, like, are you okay? And it looks like she, like, where the asphalt meets the grass, she probably like rolled her ankle on that, and she just fell into the grass. And I was like, hey, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, do you need help, like, getting back up? And she's like, no, I'm okay. And she was young, right? It was like the youngest nun I've ever seen in my life. She's like, it had to be like maybe mid-20s, like maybe younger. And I was just like, are you sure you don't need help? She's like, yeah, I'm fine. And then it's like, okay, and I just kept running, right? And I can't help myself, right? And I just think of like, damn, this lady fell, right? So I'm running, and it occurs to me, right? I'm like, I'm like, she was a nun, and I'm running by her, and I was like, you know what? I was like, maybe what happened. Well, I'm like playing it over in my head. I'm like, maybe what happened was I ran by her, she checked me out, and God just smited her down, and just like as punishment for checking out a man at the park as a nun, just smited her down to the ground. And like, I'm not like the best looking guy or whatever, but I just let me have this, like let me imagine. I think that's a good explanation. That's probably what happened, and I'm sticking to that. And I'm like, what else? What else could have happened? Oh, she just rolled her ankle. No, she wasn't paying attention to what she was doing. Obviously, checked me out, and God didn't like it, so smited her straight down to the ground. And I'm wondering if she learned her lesson. But anyway, moving on, just to try to hop out of marathon prep. I'm gonna talk about something that I think a lot of people will relate with, and I'd like to think it's the worst combination of 5 words that anyone could say to you. And it's just like it usually happens at the beginning of your day, or like the beginning of a conversation with somebody, like say you're at work and somebody rolls in for a different shift, or like you finally like settle down and you're like the first person this person talks to, and it's like the only thing that's on their mind, and they say, hey man, I had the craziest dream last night. When I hear those words, okay, like usually I'm like, all right, let's hear it. Right? Because like if it's not you were fighting dragons on the top of a roller coaster with nothing but like bananas in your pockets and a salami sandwich, like I don't know I don't know how I don't know like what you think is crazy, but that's crazy to me, and like that's entertaining, and like I'll listen to that. I want to hear about how you slayed a dragon with a salami sandwich and bananas. I don't want to hear about how like you were making puka shell necklaces with Gandhi and he taught you the meaning of life. Like to me, that's not that crazy, but it's really hard to, and it starts like a cycle. You know what I mean? Like it starts a cycle of like, I had the craziest dream last night. And then that turns into them explaining it, you listening, but like you're only like maybe 75% listening, and then you're in the background, right? And your subconscious, you're thinking about what dream you had last night, if you had a dream that night, right? So you're thinking about that dream, and you're like gearing up. You're gearing up to be like, that's crazy, but this is the dream I had. And like, or you're like, well, I had this dream this one time. So it's like not even recent, and it just stuck with you. And you're just like, and now you're going to tell them the dream. And then if you're lucky, it stops there. But most of the time it doesn't, right? Because they're like, well, I had, and like you say after they say their dream, you say your dream, and then they come back at you with another dream. And now you guys are playing like dream tag. Like you guys are trying to one up each other with dreams that you guys have had in the past. And the conversation literally is nothing, It's just you guys like, and you can make it up. You can make up all the dreams. None of the dreams, first off, because they're not real. Like obviously like people have dreams, like having a dream is real, but like none of it actually happened. So you're just literally talking about figurative stories that you came up with while you were sleeping. And I mean, that's cool. It could be fun, right? Slaying dragons with salami sandwiches and shit. But if it's like utter nonsense and you guys are just spitting utter nonsense back and forth, then what's really going on? It's like, what is that noise? But yeah, I mean, I feel like those conversations go like nowhere. I mean, they are interesting sometimes, because you kind of you kind of get under the hood of people. And I'm not talking about like, oh, like you see how creative they are because of the dream that they had. It's just like you kind of get a gauge on what people think is interesting or crazy in that sense. Because like I'm making puka shell necklaces with Gandhi every night. He tells me a new meaning of life every single night. You know what I mean? But like every now and then I'm boxing a kangaroo inside of a Chinese restaurant with like Black Sabbath playing in the background. And yeah, like that's not a normal dream. So like maybe people want to hear about that. But it just becomes, especially if you're with more people too. Like if it's not a one-on-one conversation, you're with a group of people. It's just like it becomes like a contest, and it goes around the room. Who had the craziest dream? What was their dream? Yeah. So when I hear those words, I had the craziest dream. Part of me is excited. Part of me is dreading it. and like we're all right, let's see where this goes because this could be good, but it also like 80% of the time it's just not good. Now I'm not telling the people if the people who tell me about their dreams are watching this and or in the room with me right now, I'm not telling you to stop. Tell me about your dreams, you know, because I'd like to hear about the ones that are crazy, but like make sure it's crazy, you know, make sure it's really nuts before you tell it to me. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, because and like obviously like my wife tells me about her dreams and stuff like that, and like they're like all right, you know, but yeah, I mean we got to talk about something on the commercial breaks for Love Island. You know what I mean? And I know people are gonna judge me for even watching Love Island, but you know, but hey, I think it's entertaining. You know, it's honestly crazy. You always watch it and you're just like, you're trying to do like a character analysis on these people. And like, like, especially like early days in the show, you're just trying to figure out who do you think's going to make it until the end? Who do you think's going to get out relatively fast and stuff like that? And that's fun to do, you know, like that's like the only form of reality TV that I like to watch. It's like the only form of TV that I really like to watch. Like I barely even watch sports. I mean, I got the World Cup on in the background right now. Can't really understand what's going on because it's Telemundo. I don't really have, perks of Love Island. I have Peacock. So I can watch the Telemundo broadcast of the World Cup without any extra charge. Now I don't know what they're saying, but that's cool. Maybe I'll learn some Spanish. Right now, U.S. is beating Paraguay 1-0, so that's cool. It's cool as hell, honestly. But yeah, I mean, Love Island is super sick, and like I'm saying, before you judge me, you have to understand like where I got my love for these types of shows, right? So when I was a kid growing up, I grew up in a single mother household. So like on Saturday mornings, my mom would like chill. She'd go get her coffee and she'd watch TV. And if it wasn't like HGTV or like TLC house flipping design shows, it was, she was watching like the E Network, and it was like Bad Girls Club, which if you don't know what Bad Girls Club is, because you're probably a dude who's watching this, if you are watching this, but if you don't know what Bad Girls Club is, it's basically like a bunch of like thugged out bitches just fighting, just drinking heavily and fighting in a pool. And that's pretty cool. It's pretty fun to watch, pretty entertaining. Now, Love Island only has like, I think they have like a drink limit. So like there's no one really like throwing hands, which I think they should get rid of the drink limit and just let these people throw hands. You know what I mean? Like I want them to be able to drink as much as they want. They should have like margarita hamster feeders over their beds. So as soon as they wake up, they're just drinking, and they just drink all day, and they just throw hands at night. I think that's what it should be. I think it should be guys fighting guys, girls fighting girls, girls fighting guys, and guys fighting girls. Like I think that's what the show should be, and like we'll see who's really in love, you know. And we'll also see who can take a right hand, who can take a backhand every now and then, and see which guy. That's like you need, because you need to know that your guy's gonna be able to protect you. How do you know you love him if you don't know if he can protect you or not? You know, like what if you're in a bar and you're with your man that you met on Love Island, some dude smacks your ass, and the dude that you met on Love Island, because if you're a dude on Love Island, like are you really that tough? You know, I haven't seen a UFC fighter on Love Island. It's been like just normal dudes, you know. But like, how do you know what I mean? Like, how do you know? Especially if you're only like, it's like a 1 or 2 drink minimum. But yeah, so like I was saying, my love for these shows runs from watching these shows with my mom as a kid growing up on Saturday mornings, and like it wasn't just like Bad Girls Club. Like he also had like the old shit like Flavor of Love, which is basically like The Bachelor but for Flavor Flav. And I think there's multiple seasons. Like this man was just like multiple seasons. And I think he invited like those same women back. And this dude is he looks like a decrepit turtle. And these people are just fighting for his love. They really want Flavor Flav. And it had to be for his money, because this guy's literally like a corpse. And he wears that big clock around his neck, and I think he's a rapper. I honestly don't even know what he's famous for. I'm pretty sure he's a rapper from like back in the day, and he would just be like Flavor Flav, yeah boy, And that's like all I know about him is that he says that. He says that every now and then. You know what I mean? Like that's all I know. He was always eating like a chicken wing. He had the clock necklace, a Viking hat. And you're like, what does this guy do? What is this guy up to? You know, like I want to know what you really want to know what that guy's like behind closed doors? Like I don't think any of these like these women like lasted too long, even if they won. That's probably why he had multiple seasons, because no one was going to make it. No one could spend a minute with this dude who every time he enters his room, yeah, boy. Like, no, like, dude, like, what's going on? You know what I mean? But like, yeah, you have like the characters. I don't really remember any of the females. I know like you had like that girl New York, and she was a riot, you know. But you had all those characters. I think Bad Girls Club was the one where that that big lady was smacking the pans together, and she was singing that song, I can't sleep because of y'all, so y'all ain't sleep because of me. And she's just smacking sheet pans together like baking pans. And that's cool, you know? They wouldn't let her sleep, so she just had to roam the house, probably blackout drunk, smashing pans together. That's the kind of TV that I want to watch. And like Love Island is not quite that, but I really don't think there's anything really like that out right now besides maybe like Drewski's show that's like close to Flavor Flav and kind of like Bad Girls Club. And I think it's really funny, but it's also like kind of like a lot of it is like satire, and I want it to be real. You know, it's not reality TV that's like satire TV, and it's like it all feels like a bit because he's like falling in love with like studs and shit, and like that's funny. It's definitely funny, but it's not the same thing. Like I want these people to be like so batshit crazy that they think they should fall in love with Flavor Flav and or go to a mansion with a bunch of other drunk women and fight at poolside. You know, but yeah, I think that's where my love of Love Island comes from, and it's something that me and my wife like to do together. You know, like sometimes we watch TV shows, sometimes we watch Love Island or like I guess reality TV, and like there's some shows that like she'll put on and I just can't watch. And like at first, Love Island was one of those shows that I just couldn't watch. And but then you kind of get sucked in. You're like, you start to see the characters. You start to see like people being crazy. There's stuff that like you just say randomly, like at random times because of the way the characters speak on the show. You know, they're just like every now and then I'll just look at my wife and just say, I'm a mommy. And if you don't watch Love Island, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But it was absolutely absurd at the time. From I think it was last season or the season before, but it's good stuff. I like it. A part of the show that I don't really like is like I feel like a lot of people like a lot of the dudes they act super nonchalant, and like usually the dudes on the show aren't the problem. It's mainly the females are just out of their minds. And like there's a common saying, it's like, oh, it's early days, you know, I'm looking to explore. But like there's always like one or two couples that are just like, I'm in love. I'm so in love with this person, and like you've known him for less than 24 hours, you know, you just walked in. You just walked in, you had one glass of champagne, and you're already screaming about how he disrespected you, and that you like love him and shit. You know, and that's like the majority, I would say, not majority of the women, but I would say it's about 30% of the women on the show that are just like that. And it makes good for good television. But what doesn't make for good television is the nonchalant guys. You know, like I like people to be real, you know, and I think if you act nonchalant, I don't think that's real, you know, and I don't like when people like act too cool, you know, being too cool is kind of whack. I don't like it, you know, like you're not willing to like why are you like trying so hard not to make a fool of yourself? You know, like have you like who like I feel like you've been hurt in the past, or someone said something to you in the past where it's like it became like a thing for you to be like, oh no, I gotta be, I'm chill. I'm too chill, you know? And it's like, all right, I guess in like a social aspect, it's okay to be nonchalant. But if you're like nonchalant through and through and like you really don't have, like, what do you even do? If you're like, I remember like like back in like high school, and you'd all like there's like a group of people or group of guys that would just be like you'd be in like gym class or something, and they just wouldn't want to do anything in gym class, and they're like, nah, I'm not trying to do nothing. It's like, we're not doing anything that day. You know, it's like a light day in gym where you're just playing like knockout or something. Like, nah, I'm gonna just chill. I'm not really trying to play. I'm gonna get out quick and just be like, it's just like, I'm chilling. It's like, what's the fun in that? You know, like, what do you, I don't view that as fun, you know? And like, I was a kid who would try hard in gym class. I like trying hard. Trying hard is like, is great. Trying hard is cool to me. Like, if you're not trying hard to do at least something, I feel like that's like, what do you even do then? You know, like you should have something that you try hard at. And if you're just nonchalant all the time, then it just doesn't feel real. You know, like it just doesn't feel real to me. And like you don't really know the nonchalant people too well. You know, because they're just like, nah, I'm chilling. It's like, all right, what do you do besides chilling? Nah, I just be chilling and shit. I just be chilling and shit, you know what I'm saying? I just be chilling. And it's just like, okay, but like, what do you do for fun? Nah, just chill. And it's like, okay, well, you're boring as fuck then. You're boring as hell. And it's like, every now and then you'll get them, you might be able to get them going, you know, get them laughing, get them telling a story or something. And like, that's fun. You know, it's like, oh man, I thought you were too chill, but like, you're right. You know, and like, I don't know. Something about not giving a shit just really throws me off because I think giving a shit is like almost my entire personality. Like I care a lot about all the things that I do, whether it be like my job or like running or even like talking to absolutely nobody and posting in places. Like that's like I think that's fun and like I constantly try to find ways to get better. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to find ways to get better at what I do for my job. I'm trying to get better at running in this, trying different things with like editing and all that kind of stuff. And like, I think that's cool. Like I got stuff to talk about with people like at work or like, I could talk about stuff with my friends when they're like, hey, what are you up to? I'm like, yeah, I've been doing this. And like, I'm into this right now. And like, that maybe be like my ADHD where I was just like, I always have something that I'm trying to do, you know, like I'm always like up to something. But like if I go like, hey man, like how you been? Like what are you up to? He's like, oh, I'm just chilling. It's like, okay, we'll see you later. Talk to you again. Talk to you next time. And then you talk to him again. What are you doing? No, I'm just chilling. Are you even real? Are you even a real guy? Are you're never up to anything? That's boring as heck, dude. That is boring as heck. And I'm not here for it, you know? I'm not. I don't like nonchalant people. It's whack as hell. And like I feel like people who act too cool fit into that category for me. Where it's just like I don't know. I've heard a quote one time where it's just like anxiety is the most unexplored emotion, and it's like go out there and make a fool of yourself. I saw it on it's like some actor I think who said it, and like I'm obviously willing to make a fool of myself, right? Like this I'm doing this right now, and like even like the stuff that I talk about where it's just like when I was in the military and I was getting out and I was making transition. People were like, "What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm thinking about moving to Colorado and starting a bee farm." And they look at me like I have fucking 17 heads, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's a possibility. Could happen. I don't know how much money honey makes, but we could find out." And it's just like I want to do stuff that sounds interesting, something that sounds cool, even if it doesn't sound cool. I'm cool with that. She's like, oh, I want to start a trucking company, or maybe I'll do this. And it's just like, I feel like people would judge me for those things, you know, like people would be like, oh, that's not, you know, that's not, why don't you just do what you're doing now? It's like, you mean that's cool. But like, I don't know, maybe I want to be a little bit different. And they're like, yeah, but like bees, I'm like, bees are chill, you know, bees just be chilling and shit. So I don't know. I thought that was the cool idea. I ended up not obviously not doing it, right? Because I'd be talking about that nonstop. I'd be like, yeah, like, I just pulled the queen out of the hive, and I had to move the hive because half the hive died because of the cold and whatever, blah blah. But you know, I obviously don't do that, and I also don't have a trucking company. But it was just like when I want to talk about those things, like people would just look at me sideways, and they try to get a gauge on like why I'd want to do something like that, and it's just like, hey man, like I'm just testing the waters with thought, and I'm just I'm doing my due diligence and trying to figure out what it is that I want to do. I'm not just gonna. I didn't want to just like let the cards fall where they were gonna fall. Like I wanted to beat the casino. You know what I mean? So and kind of like a figure it out for myself instead of just letting shit happen. But yeah, so like the people that act too cool, like stop trying to be so cool, man. Cool people do cool stuff, you know? They're not just chilling all the time. But yeah, and speaking of making a fool of myself, I'm gonna try to make a fool of myself right now, and I'm gonna do another bit, and I'm gonna try to step away from the wheel and do something a little bit different. I used to do, I don't know if I mentioned in the last one, on the last pod when I was talking about what I used to do for work, but I used to be a door-to-door salesman. I did that for about 7 months until I found out my daughters were being born, and I had to find something else to do because it wasn't, I mean, it made good money, you know, but I mean, it wasn't like consistent enough for me and like something consistent enough to like raise a family on. So I just wanted to make sure like I was squared away. But I had fun when I was doing it. I was also stressed out a lot when I was doing it because it's kind of weird, you know, you're just going up to random people's doors and you're just like, hey, how are you? And they're like, get the hell off my doorstep. What are you doing here? And it's like people into the door, whatever you're selling, I'm not buying it. And it's like, hey man, let me do my thing, all right? I got a script here. Let me run through the script. You know what I mean? So, but I want to try something else. Maybe we'll stay on brand with the original, with one of the dreams that I had. I'll be a door-to-door salesman who sells door-to-door salesman that sells stuff really, really bad. What do I want to sell? I want to sell bananas and ham sandwiches, like so you can kill dragons, right? Maybe where can we go with this? I'm just gonna let it flow, see what happens. You should wait, buddy, now. All right. Should I do an accent too, or no? I'm literally talking to nobody. Do you guys ever, if anyone perhaps watches this, have you ever noticed that if you do like voices, or like you like to like mess around and like be like Kermit or something, or like Mickey Mouse, or like Winnie the Pooh, or a Russian guy, or a robot, or like any of that stuff, if you have ever done anything like that, and you did it in front of people, and like it's like something that you normally would struggle with saying, just talking in like a normal sense, and then you do the accent and it comes out like beautifully and it's like perfect. Like I actually used to I used to practice my script for door sales in a Kermit voice, and the people in my class were like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like in my like in doc class for where we learned the script and all that kind of stuff, they're like, what's wrong with you? And they'd have to be a homeowner talking to Kermit while I'm trying to sell them siding or windows. And like they got a kick out of it, but they're like, why are you doing that? I'm like, because it forces me to learn what I'm doing and like what I'm saying, and it's just easier for me to recite and do that stuff and speak more fluently and clearly, because I guess it has to do with like pacing. Like if you're talking like Kermit, you can't really talk too fast. You got to like drag stuff out a little bit. But I'll do Kermit as a door-to-door salami sandwich and banana salesman. To find it. Hey, my name's Kermit. All right, there you go. My name. Okay, here we go. And they usually answer like hey, what are you doing here? Who are you? Hey, how you doing? My name's Kermit. I work with a company called Salami Sandwich and Banana Slingers. Yeah, we were just at your neighbor over there down the street. You know, Harold. Yeah, we were just making sure salami sandwiches were squared away. And I noticed last night when I was inside your kitchen that you guys didn't have any salami sandwiches or bananas in your. I don't even know if I sound like Kermit right now. I gotta take my headset off. I noticed when you guys were sleeping, I was in your kitchen last night, and I noticed that you guys didn't have any salami sandwiches in the fridge, and all your bananas were brown. So, yeah, me and the people at. Okay, I can't do it in Kermit's voice. It's hard for me to do it in Kermit's voice. Yeah, so like when I was in your house last night, I was looking into your fridge and I noticed that you didn't have any salami sandwiches or any banana. Like all your bananas were brown, and like obviously if your bananas were green, then I probably wouldn't be knocking on your door today. But I noticed I'm starting to sound Canadian. I noticed that you guys need some bananas and salami sandwiches, and the dude's like, "Hey man, what are you saying? You were in my house last night, looking through my refrigerator, like, why were you in my house looking for salami sandwiches?" Well, I mean, that's what we do here at Salami Sandwich and Banana Slingers. We go door to door And like we have to prospect like everybody else does, you know. Usually people pull records and stuff like that. But what we like to do is we like to get into the field, you know. Delco Kermit. We like to get into the houses. I can't stop. I'm losing it. Hey, it's me, Kermit. Yeah, so we like to get into the houses, and we like to, we like to get our foot in the door, and we like to check. And I'm just gonna go straight to Delco now. We like to check, like what's your sandwich situation is in the house. You know what I mean? Yeah, and if you don't have a salami sandwich, you know, we come back, we ask you, hey man, do you have any? We noticed you didn't have any salami sandwiches. Are you looking for a salami sandwich? And your bananas are brown. So yeah, that's what I was doing. And the guy's like, yeah, but like, why were you in my house? He's like, well, like, who gave you permission to be in my house? He's like, well, I have this permit right here. You got this permit. It says I'm allowed to check houses for salami sandwiches and bananas. So got it from the township. So if you have a problem with that, before you call the cops, you could take a look at the permit. I'm gonna hold it so you can't take it from me. But yeah, it says right here on my permit. I don't know if you could see it. It says salami sandwich and banana permit. So it's just how we do business, you know. But yeah, like I understand. I get this all the time. You don't like people coming into your house in the middle of the night, checking your fridge for salami sandwiches and bananas and you know all that, and like watching you and your wife sleep and like reading your kids' bedtime stories and whatnot. But you know, it's just what we do. It's just how we do things. And like we have some high grade salami. You know, we import our salami from Italy. We got good bread. Good semolina bread, and yeah, I mean, like we have a bunch of different condiments. So like whatever you like, if you like spicy brown mustard, yellow mustard, mayonnaise, what? We got wheat bread, what? I'm losing everything right now. I'm losing my absolute goddamn mind. Yeah, but we got all types of breads and different types of salami. If you like a harder salami or a softer salami, we can make that happen for you. So on and so forth. So it's like a salami sandwich, something that you'd be interested in. Like no man, I'm not gonna be able to get over the fact that you were in my house. And did you say you tucked my kids into bed and read them a bedtime story? No, I mean, I didn't tuck them in. I just read them a bedtime story. It's like, they don't, what do you mean you read them a bedtime story? And you watched me and my wife sleep? Yeah, man, you should really think about getting a CPAP machine. You're snoring heavily, man. It sounded like you were dying a couple times. You know, I was only in your bedroom watching you sleep for like a couple hours, but I noticed like maybe like 2, 3 times that you just kept snoring and like choking on something. You were in my house for hours? No, I mean, I was in your bedroom for hours, just your bedroom. I was in your bedroom for hours, you know, watching you and your wife sleep. But I would seriously get like a sleep study done or something, man. Like you definitely have like sleep apnea, and that's not healthy, you know. And like, you know, I think if you wanted to, like, you need something to help you lose a little bit of weight. We don't only just do salami sandwiches. We also do bananas. Bananas are a good source of potassium. They can curb your hunger a little bit. So that way you can drop some pounds and it'd be easier on you for your sleep apnea. And guys, like, hey man, I need you to go. I need you to get out of here. I need you to get off my front lawn. I need you to never come to my house again. Do you see this no soliciting sign? Like, if I have a no soliciting sign, what makes you think you can just come into my house, watch me and my wife sleep, check my refrigerator for salami sandwiches, see if my bananas are brown, and then read my kid a bedtime story? It's like, hey man, listen, I get it. Like, you don't want people in your house, and like, I get that part, but like I'm literally saving your life by telling you that you should get a CPAP machine. And I don't normally read all the kids' bedtime stories. So you better, you should be thanking me that I saved you some hours of sleep, of pretty rough sleep, might I add, because you're freaking, because you don't have a CPAP machine, your sleep apnea. You should be thanking me that I saved you a couple of your hours of your shitty ass sleep and read your dang kid a bedtime story instead of you having to do it. You know what I'm saying, dude? So I would just relax here and, you know, take a step back, and maybe you should think about thanking me. Dude, I'm not gonna thank you for coming into my house and reading my kid a bedtime story. I don't even know who you are, man. Like, don't you have anything better to do than sell salami sandwiches and bananas door to door? Like you're making you probably make like no money. Like how much do bananas even cost? Like what do you can't be making good money on salami sandwiches either. So like what's going on here? So well, actually, man, I'll have you know that it's pretty lucrative, because we have really good salami sandwiches and our bananas are always perfect. They're always ripe, they're never brown, they're never green. Unless you like them green or you like them brown, we can do that for you. And like we have a subscription basis, and our salami, like I said, is imported. The bread's imported. Any bread you like, any condiments, all the salami that you could ever ask for. Now, let me ask you, how long have you ever thought about buying a salami sandwich? Dude, it's like, yeah, man, I've thought about buying a salami sandwich, but not from a guy who's knocking on my front door. Usually, if I want a salami sandwich, I'll just go to the deli and like I buy my bananas from the grocery store like a normal person. It's like, wow, man, what are you like stuck in like the Stone Age or something? You have to go all the way to the deli to get your salami sandwiches, and then you have to go to the grocery store to get your bananas. Now imagine, do me a favor, I want you to imagine you wake up, you walk downstairs, you got rest, right? Because you got that CPAP machine, you're feeling fantastic. Kids didn't wake you up because I'm there reading them bedtime stories, and you go down to your fridge, you open it up, and you have five salami sandwiches just in your fridge, top level of your fridge, five salami sandwiches. Nice, pre-done, pre-made. Now, every time you may not want a salami sandwich, but every time you open that fridge, you got one waiting there for you, fresh salami sandwiches. Because you know why? Because I come in the middle of the night like a burglar, but I'm just dropping salami sandwiches there for you. And then you're like, you eat it, you're like, maybe I don't want a salami sandwich today. That's fine. We'll replace, but you're like, I gotta go on a run. Make sure my electrolytes are nice and good. Maybe I'll eat a banana. You turn perfectly green, ripe, or brown banana just waiting there for you. Whole bundle. You could eat two if you want. 3, 4, 5, 6. Not 7 though. We don't do that. We only go up to 6. Because if you're eating more than 6 bananas in a day, there's something wrong with you. But you see the bananas, and you're like, oh, I got bananas. And you don't even have to go to the store. I'm saving you time, money, so on and so forth. I think that what we do is we help people out, and people pay good money for that. That's how I make my living. I make good commission on my salami sandwiches. So don't you be knocking my salami sandwiches. And dude's like, did you say you have a subscription? And you come into my house and you hand deliver them in the middle of the night? Yeah, man. I've been. Obviously, it's not like the most perfect business model, and like I was thinking maybe I was thinking about actually talking to the owner and changing it to salami sandwich and banana fairies, because it's kind of like the tooth fairy. We're like the tooth fairy of salami sandwiches and bananas, and because you don't even know we're there. You wake up, and the only way we can make it better is we put it under your pillow. You wake up with a salami sandwich under your pillow. How cool would that be? It's like, that wouldn't be cool at all. I think the fridge is probably the best place to put a salami sandwich. I don't want to wake up with spicy brown under my eyes because I flipped the pillow, and now I got a salami sandwich in my face. I'm just being choked out in the middle of the night by a salami sandwich. So you think like having salami sandwiches would be something that you'd be interested in? I mean, I guess like a good salami sandwich. You said everything's imported? Yeah, man, everything's imported. Do you guys do like a Chipotle mayo? Yeah, man, we could do whatever you want. We got all the condiments. Anything that you could think of. You like banana peppers? I love banana peppers. We got banana peppers. We could put banana peppers on there, red onions, a little bit of lettuce, tomato, oil and vinegar. You guys do all that? How much does this cost? It's a subscription of like, depends how many salami sandwiches you want to have. If you want one a day, then we could do our $300 a month plan where you get one salami sandwich a day and a bundle of bananas for free, or you could do 2 salami sandwiches a day and you get one bundle of bananas for free, and you get some Tums because you're going to have some heartburn from those salami sandwiches. Now, if you're not an avid salami sandwich guy, I don't really know how many people want to have 2 salami sandwiches a day, or maybe even 1 salami sandwich a day. But if you're looking for like maybe like two salami sandwiches a week, we'd do 150, and then every time that we drop off salami sandwiches, we will also drop off bananas, obviously of your liking, green, ripe, or brown, obviously of your liking, and we'll drop them off once a week. So yeah, that's what we do. It's $150 a month if you want to do two salami sandwiches a week. But like the deal's really in the one salami sandwich a day. And yeah, man, I think that's where the deal is, because you get a free bundle of bananas every single day, and you get a salami sandwich every day, and it's twice the price. I understand you may not want to eat all of them all the time, but it's nice to have, because maybe like 2-3 days you just stock up your salami sandwiches, then you can have a picnic. Now you got 3 salami sandwiches. Now you can go to work and be like, hey man, you want a salami sandwich? I got this salami sandwich. An extra one, chipotle mayo, lettuce, tomato, red onions, banana peppers. Everything that you want, we can do. If you want to change it up, we got an app. SSB Slingers on Apple Store or Google Play if you got an Android, like some kind of freak. Yeah, man, we do it all. The guy was like, yeah, man, maybe I'm interested in getting salami sandwiches and some bananas every now and then. That'd be nice to have in the house. I have nowhere else to go with this. I think I'm gonna end it there. I've been doing this for about an hour. I've done the salami sandwich salesman bit for way too long. Well, if you are watching this, you shouldn't be. If you saw the last one, you shouldn't have. See ya.